We're here in the city of Espanola still, here at the Espanola Public Schools Education Center. We're here for a school board meeting tonight. There's some stuff that's on the agenda that's very interesting. They're planning to close down a couple of schools from the school district. So yes, the doors are locked. I don't know where to go in through. Appreciate you guys joining.
And then they have those schools pay for those positions.
How's it?
So, and that's what the plan is. So, and I try to explain that to her. I reached out to Monica.
Monday's gonna be bad.
What's up, Steven?
Not much. How are you, sir?
Good. How's the circus going on at the city?
Fantastic, bro. Awesome.
Keeps you going, no?
Best circus show I ever attended.
Better when I was there, that's for sure.
I wonder how this one doesn't catch up to it quite yet, but hopefully it does.
I don't know what it says, but I'm gonna need to share. No, I don't know. I am the chairman, literally. So is this? No, like that. What is this? Is that a, you know what I do, like, that is a policy that was adopted by the board?
Oh, you've been here twice. Do you have an agenda by chance?
I have one.
You don't have it more?
No, our printers don't like this today.
Can I just borrow it real fast and I'll return it?
Yeah.
You Courtney? Hi. I know there's gonna be several of the drivers here. Is it possible for us to be included so that we can have public participation?
So this is the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Peeking in on that project.
Too many today. Christine's already, my daughter, April, my daughter, Jamie, all that stuff.
Directed spending Macy's to really
Okay, notice the car
Where'd the truck?
Hold on, it's just like driving real slow. I was scared that it was an older model Nissan. Maybe just the like brake back and some kind of years that keeps standing up there.
Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Is there a sign-in sheet?
No, I couldn't read that. Just like, yes, it's been a rough one. A rough first day. Our printers aren't printing. So sorry. We even had two messages. I'm more than happy to email them all the way
You feel the loss and the kids inside the house.
It's been a fun day. First day.
Central office, come on.
bond tonight. I'm sorry.
It's a mess.
So we're right here. Bond outright resolution. Yeah, so this is for the next one. So, yes, you've done a great job of spending the first one.
Can you put me in?
Yes, so it will, first of
Awesome,
October,
thank
is where you price their bonds.
Just put Steve in.
And then we will.
Thank you.
Close the 14th. The Leo will answer that, yes, that was the goal. Because then you get the PSA money, oh, good. Yeah, I like that, yeah. So, not, let them pay it. Very good. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Leo should be here any minute.
I don't know, I drive a lot, so, all my kids use the bus services, I have mine, yes, I thank you guys.
Don't make me escort you out, you'll be here. I said, don't make me escort you out, you'll be here.
I came for the housing committee.
Are we going out to see the escapades going?
Fantastic, bro. Top notch. My next endure is Rio Arriba County.
I can't keep up with that.
I gotta go let them know that they're public servants, that they work for the general public. They don't think they do. They're just employees.
Dude, everybody quotes me, but nobody listens. There's no secrets in Greenwood County. Everything's public records. Everything you do. It's like trying to hide.
What do you want to hide things for? It just makes you look suspicious. And then I bring it out, and then they get all hurt.
They get hurt because it's the way you bring it out. That's why they get hurt.
Sorry, but I don't have a filter. I just say the honest truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It's like you're on the stand.
Leo, for you.
Say the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
What they tell you. Oh, great.
You'll never hear from us. Everything's on the phone.
Yeah, of course we do.
I gotta read it, but I don't know. It's been a Why got issued about? I have price goes out of power and him and told me it's not our fault. I'm like, oh no, it's my fault. I went around and I shut up the breakers and fixed.
There you go. That's exactly what I was just gonna say, Campos. You went to all these schools. You just want someone to blame, and they ain't want to take it.
No, then I like when they say act of God. I'm like, really? The big man upstairs came and took this? They call it act of God. That's what it is.
The weather.
How'd it go, Christian? How did breakfast go this morning? You did good? I think so. Wasn't
How come I'm the other one that says the truth? It was a hell of a
my
day.
original
Tell her the
marriage
truth.
was
It was
the truth.
a horrible day. Come on.
I was with Shimano this morning for breakfast. Yeah. Yeah, they had pizza. It was like the pizza from like back in the days. It was like the ones that you remember. Like I remember being in like elementary and stuff. Like you know, sit on my lap. I like it, but my daughter was like, I don't like that. I thought it was. I spent 2 hours in school, but you know, kids nowadays are so picky.
Mine is called, I thought the lunch was horrible.
Oh, you're an angel. You're an angel.
We're all about wellness.
Good. Very good.
How's it going? That wasn't my idea.
No, I.
We ready? Courtney, you ready?
Yeah. Hold on. One second.
You know what? Out of everybody here, you should know that you come up with the. I said for reasons.
We're ready.
The time is 6 o'clock. I'm calling this meeting to order. We could please rise. Mr. Bustos, if you could please lead us in the pledge of allegiance. Sure, brother. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Uno, fidelidad, a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la patria de su justicia, una nación debajo de Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. Mr. Salazar, if you can please, do.
Present.
Ruben Archuleta.
Present. Mr. Salazar. Letter D, approval of the agenda, members of the board, I am gonna recommend or motion that we remove, letter A on the consent agenda since that is no longer needed, since we have been awarded, the amount, so I am gonna motion to approve the agenda with removing, letter A on the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Martinez, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign, okay, motion passes. Number 2, public participation. Ms. Polanco, do we have anybody signed up for public participation?
Yes. Mr. Rick Vito?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Marano. I want to chat a little bit tonight about the history of Velarde Elementary. Back in 1954, there was a young man by the name of Ricardo Vigil. He was a 6th grader at that time. And at that time, they used to heat each of those classrooms with a fogón, either with coal or wood. That's how historic that school is. Fast forward to 1996, there was another young man by the name of Rick Vigil. My grandmother would call me every Friday asking me, Hito, please, are you gonna come home and have lunch with us? I'm here, this is important, the history of this school is very important. Does anyone know when Velarde Elementary was built? 1912.
Wow.
The exact year of the New Mexico statehood. There are other schools in New Mexico that are in fact in the National Registry, the historic National Registry. A few of them, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Elementary in Vago, 1926. Much newer, a little newer, no? Peñasco High School, 1931. Coronado and Burque, 1936-37. Long story short, I think that if we put forward an application, Mr. Marrano, to the National Historic Society, I'm fairly confident that Velarde would check a lot of those boxes. That is critical, man. And with that, if we in fact can get on that registry, there will be different streams of funding that we can tap into. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rico. Anybody else, Ms. Blanco?
Some of the transportation staff?
So will they be speaking individually, or do they have somebody that's gonna be representing them, or?
I'm willing to speak for them if they'll let me. I won't take very long.
It's up to them.
Well, I haven't asked them, so I don't know. Is that okay? Okay, my name is Santo Calza. I'm a driver. I've been here almost 10 years. Transportation is a very tight department. We make it happen with whatever we have, and every semester, term, whatever you want to call it, we're always short-staffed. And we always find a way to make it work. And I know from sitting in the meeting yesterday that we had, where they started telling us about, it raised a lot of flags for our staff that, you know, we're gonna have to clock in and clock out. Of course, there's the fear that we're gonna become reduced to maybe hourly employees instead of, okay, it's a fear, it's a real fear, whether it's real or not, I don't know. I just wanna explain, I'll use my example from last year, about the beginning of the year. Same school he's talking about, Velarde, they lost their bus driver. We're already understaffed, we don't have enough drivers to even do what we're doing. Roberta, whoever, Tito, whoever can fill in is filling in like almost on a daily basis, running routes besides their actual job of what they do. And we make it work. Okay, so they say, we don't have a driver, what can we do? So an emergency thing happened. Roberto, Tito, Didi, the principal of Velarde School, and Yolanda, the driver who lost her CDL, and me. We all got in a car. We drove around Velarde, and she said, here's my route, I don't know if there's anything you guys can do. And I said, well, I could try to do it. And in a matter of almost overnight, I took on doing all of Velarde's route, all the students for Velarde's, and still at least 2/3 to 3/4 of a call days. And starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm at the far end of La Canova, if you know Velarde, picking up my first student. I have to drop them off at the Velarde school at 7:45, and then I have until about 8:05 to go down the length of the main road. And then Billy, she picked up the lower road in 39th Street, maybe 6, 8 students of mine. So I lost 6 or 8 students, but gained like 23. So when that did, I went to Tito and I said, well, am I gonna get reimbursed anything for that? And so he went to whoever he went to, and they said, we'll give you an hour a day. So I'm picking up at least 45 minutes in the morning, I'm picking up at least 45 minutes in the afternoon, and I'm getting an hour a day, and I did that through the end of the school year. I never complained, I did complain when I went, I'm not a technical person, so, and I'm on automatic deduction, so a couple of months into it, I realized my pay is the same as it was before I was supposed to get this hour a day bonus. So I went to payroll, and they looked it up and they said, well, we owe you about $1,800. So they cut me a check for that, because it was, I don't know. Anyways, that's water under them. So anyways, we all get t-shirts that say, we're in this together, and that is what transportation is. We're all in this together. Every one of us is an important part that makes transportation happen. It's not, I'm an hourly employee, and he's an hourly employee, she's an hourly. Together we make it work, and we have to, because we're always short. Anyways, that's what I have to say. I don't know if any of the other drivers want to say anything, but I'm just worried that this doesn't turn into down the road that you guys aren't, you know, we always do above and beyond whatever the call of it, as a group, not as like me or her or him, but all of us together, we make it happen. We just want to make sure that we get covered.
Thank you, Mr. Calsa. And usually we don't typically engage with public comment, but I would encourage everybody in the transportation department to stick around for the board president's report. I am going to allow a discussion in regards to your concerns and your fears. There has been a discovery that is going to benefit you guys. The board hears your concerns and your fears, and this board here is our number one concern is making sure that our staff is taken care of and they feel comfortable when they come to work. So I encourage you guys to stick around just a little bit longer. Okay. That way I could allow the discussion amongst the board members and Superintendent Morano, so we can disclose the discoveries and stuff like that, and that way we can have closure for this little thing going on there.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Anybody else, Ms. Blanco?
Stephen.
Mr. Lona?
How long do I have? 5, 10 minutes? Okay. Jaden. I don't think politics is your thing, bro. That's my opinion. I don't think politics is your thing. You're willing for taxpayers of this school district to pay a lawsuit that this school district messed up on. We're talking about Mr. Estrada. You don't want to open up an investigation because you're protecting people, which is fine, which is okay. And that's what you want to do. But if a certain individual, if Holly Martinez messed up
and brought down the school and brought this gentleman down and other people down, I think it's only fair for the community, for you guys, that they elected you guys to represent these people, that you guys should do an investigation into the matter. Not for Mr. Estrada come and sue the school district, because Dale's not gonna pay out of it, you're not gonna pay out of it, Ruben's not gonna pay out of it, Katrina's not gonna pay out of it, Brandon's not gonna pay out of it. It's gonna come out of the taxpayers' pockets. And that's not how things are run. I've sued government, and I sue them for a purpose. I don't sue them just to sue them. I sue them to make a principle, to make the matters correct. In the state of New Mexico in 2018, there's a thing that passed through legislation, and it's called House Bill 4. I would highly recommend you guys to look into that. House Bill 4 is that they removed qualified immunity from law enforcement. So any individual can go after law enforcement in the state of New Mexico against their assets or whatever they have individually. In 2019, in legislation, they came in and tacked on elected officials, which you guys are elected officials, and appointees, okay? So Mr. Estrada, if you're listening, I would highly recommend you to sue the whole entire school board individually and take from their assets. If they don't want to open up an investigation, I have lawyers in the state of New Mexico that I'm willing to help you with. But you, Javen, you're the school board president, you want to sweep it under the rug like nothing happened. There's a big old article that came out on the Real Grandson. You can laugh, bro, it's okay, because that's what it's going on. You're afraid to open it. I don't know why you don't want to open it. I don't know why you're so scared of that the school's going to be damaging and stuff like that. You can shake your head no all you want, but that's what you stated, which is fine, because it's black and white on the Real Grandson. Okay? Another thing, you guys, yes, there might be shortage of students at different schools, but when you start closing schools down, the staff is going to have more of an issue going on when you close schools. You're gonna have teachers doing 60 kids in one classroom. You know, I think you guys need to really understand to pick which kind of schools you guys want to close. I'm all for it. Yeah, there's not the population like there was 20 years ago or 10 years ago, but do it right. Have town hall meetings. Explain to the people what you're trying to do. Just don't come in here and close them down. Carl, you and I are going to get to know each other very well in the next couple of years that you be school board. I'll pull out your dirty laundry. You still have open litigation on you. Just so you know, we'll get further into it. That's all I got to say. You guys got to do for the people, not for yourselves, not for your buddies, not for anyone else. So, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. Anybody else, Ms. Paul?
That's all I have signed up.
Okay, moving on to letter number 4, district reports, letter A, board president's report, and we'll just get this discussion started. Oh, sorry about that, I didn't see that. Yeah, okay, the discussion, number 2, AI policy. Mr. Morano?
Yeah, so across the state right now, various school districts and superintendents across the state are looking at generating an AI policy in regards to staff utilizing AI as well as students. AI is real, right? With the, ChatGPT, you can put just about anything in there, and information comes out, right? So I want the board in conjunction with myself is looking at an AI policy for staff use and for student use. So it's something that in the next by the next board meeting we have a first read, look that over, because it's something that all school districts are facing, maintaining the integrity of school classwork that students are turning in, and also maintaining the integrity of work that is being done by staff. So something that I just wanted to open up for discussion and get the board's input on as well as far as generating this policy for Espanola Public Schools.
Anybody have questions, open up the discussion or anything?
I know that, we did talk about this at the last training in November, about how that's becoming very critical with the kids and all that. And, I really feel that we need to do some sort of a policy, because, yeah, it's gonna land up being like a form of
cheating, let's put it that way, that our students are gonna start learning to do. And they're probably smarter than us when it comes to the smartphones and the tablets as it is. So like I say, I wouldn't doubt it that it's already happening. So, yeah, I think that we're gonna really need to look into this and try and get something established here for the school district.
And I agree with you, Mr. Salazar, this is something that has been ongoing for quite some time, you know, with reports and stuff that they're required to do, essays, stuff like that. It's really kind of taken off and stuff, so, that's something that we are gonna have to implement. It's gonna be very hard, it's gonna be a burden on our staff members to try and police some of this stuff that's happening, you know, and stuff. We're just gonna have to be a little more vigilant, our staff members, our teachers, when they're turning in these reports and stuff. So, it is something that's gonna have to happen. We're just moving in that direction with the technology. So, you know, I'm all for it as well too.
And at the same time, we wanna teach our students how to utilize it effectively, right? Because it's the real world and how to navigate it responsibly, because most of us has used it, but how do we make sure we're not compromising the integrity of what we learn? So I think that's something we need to do.
Yeah, and like I say, it's just like, for those that are on social media and stuff like that, nowadays you don't even know what's real, what's not. You know, there's a lot of things that are happening out there, and we just gotta educate, like Mr. Brown said, we gotta educate our kids. And we want them safe to be on the internet as well too, so, you know, with policy, it has to come with training, not only for our staff, but for our kids as well too. So.
Everybody has stated to it, they got some software programs out there already that, will help the teachers and staff, you know, basically dictate if it is type of, an AI situation or something, if it's genuine or not, you know what I mean? So I know that we can look into that as well.
Anybody else want to ask?
No.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Morano, if, you know, if we can move forward with that and then just keep the board in the loop, and maybe we can have some sort of, discussion, you know, what needs to, you know, how that in policy, what needs to be entailed in the policy and stuff like that, so.
Well, I guess, President, how are you gonna figure out that it's AI? Yeah, and that's what, we're trying to get some other policies that other districts have implemented. So what we wanna do is look, first read, see if we want, you know, redo it, kind of draft our policy together.
So basically, if they write an essay and it's AI, it's supposed to write it.
Right, well, there's certain parameters that we wanna put in a policy, certain assignments that, you know, have to be done by students without using AI and other things. So we wanna kind of be clear on that, so students know that it's that way, so.
So how do we know if the software is gonna, you know, they do an AI essay and say they take out like a paragraph, or they change words on it and move this paragraph here, or maybe add in like another 3 paragraphs to it.
It's one of those things, that's hard to really oversee, but I think if we create a policy on the use of it, what's allowed and what's not.
So what Mr. Archuleta just chimed in now too, and I can attest to that the college does have a pretty good policy already put in place and stuff like that, I know. New Mexico State has a good policy, and also he just mentioned UNM has a policy as well too, so, and Northern as well too.
They have it for the
Northern
staff
too,
as
so
well.
we can probably just maybe just kind of just, you know, look into those policies, see how those policies do and stuff like that, and we can probably mimic something like that. Like, again, all this is new to us. New technology comes new every single day. Stuff changes on the fly, and we just have to get with it. Gotta make sure that we're up to date and ready for everything that changes, that way we can be sure that we're protecting our staff, students, and community members at the same time. Anything else? No? Good? Okay, moving on to district reports, letter A. As stated earlier, we received a numerous amount of calls. I know Mr. Salazar and myself, I don't know if the rest of the board did or not, in regards to the transportation, the new rule of clocking in and stuff like that. We looked into it. At first, my thing was concerned, and I raised this question before in our retreat, about, a form of time fraud by doing that, by clocking in and not being able to clock out. That is a form of time fraud in my eyes. I raised that concern with Mr. Morano and the rest of the board. Mr. Salazar, did a little more homework, and pulled up a policy. There was a discovery on the policy that the board had passed back. Don't know the exact date when the policy was passed, but Mr. Salazar, if I can just see that real quick. So in regards to clock outs, an exception will be made for the transportation department due to the early or late bus routes. So therefore, anything that has been relayed to you guys, board policy supersedes anything that has been relayed to you guys. So, it is gonna go back to Mr. Morano and his team, and they're gonna discuss, how we can move forward at this time. The clock-ins are not gonna be a factor at this time right now. As far as you guys being in fear of losing time, no time is gonna be lost, and that's a guarantee. You guys are gonna get all your hours that you guys have been promised. Those buses are equipped with GPS monitors. So as soon as that bus, that key switch turns on in that bus, those monitors are already tracking you. In my eyes, of course, the board does not make those day-to-day operations, but in my eyes, that's a form of clock-in right there, showing that your bus is en route. And, that should probably be enough for the district on the people that take, the buses. Now, if a bus is located here at, central office, that's a different story. You're coming to pick up the bus here, you can clock in and clock out when you leave at the end of the day, with your guaranteed hours. But if you take a bus home, I firmly believe that you should be exempt from clocking in. So, at this time, like I said, Mr. Morano and his team will go back to the table, they'll discuss this, and like I say, it's not gonna be a factor, no longer, as a problem.
So the point that I was trying to make is, we are a very tight-knit team, and it only works because of how tight-knit we are together. We got people in lead positions, we got people always willing to step up, and we always make it happen, we always make it with less than the staff that we should have, ideally. And so I don't want any one of us to get penalized, or, that was my fear.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I'm speaking for myself. but-
And transportation is a very vital piece to our district. It's one of our lifelines for the district. You know what I mean? You guys are tremendous. Sometimes you guys are stretched thin.
Always.
We've seen it. We've seen it firsthand, you know, with athletics, with, you know, just the routes. You know, if somebody calls in, you know, it's a huge domino, and you guys are a huge vital piece to this district, and we appreciate everything that you guys bring to this district. Many of you guys have been here for many, many years, you know, and when this was brought to my attention, and then Mr. Salazar gave me a call, and then brought it to my attention as well too, there's something that we have to do and intervene in this and make things right. You know, the other factor too is like, you know, some of you guys live in rural areas where the internet isn't that great. So there's really no way, if you're having issues, you know, clocking in one morning or whatever, how are we gonna document that? Like I say, once your bus turns on, your GPS is activated, and that should be well enough. If anybody else wants to chime in on that, or?
I want to check, why did we make this rule the day before school? That's the main problem.
It was scary for us when we had that meeting, like, all of a sudden it was like, and I heard people saying, this might be my last year, I don't know.
Well, I've had a few people say that they're gonna retire, and that bothered me, because first of all, we're short bus drivers to begin with, we all know that. And then we pull this kind of, I don't know what you call it, the day before shenanigans, and then, you know, I understand if you have to do it, but bring the bus drivers to the table and say, what do we think, and work it out together, not sort of like a dictatorship, you're gonna clock out, and if not, too bad, that's not.
And if
that-
one
that doesn't
person
work.
doesn't clock in, then nobody's gonna get paid that week, I mean.
And then they said about clocking in on their phones, but then are we Friday phones? There's just a lot of stuff that I think could have been done better. And I don't blame them for being upset. I'd be upset too if the day before something goes wrong. And if there's a policy, the board can suspend the policy till we figure out when policies can be suspended.
Or revised.
Or revised, because, but I think we need to bring all the bus drivers and see what works well and compromise and see what works well, instead of just day before school, this is gonna happen, then my phone's ringing, and it's okay, I'm a board member, that's what I signed up for, but it just bothers me when something doesn't have to happen this way. But we knew since July or June, why the day before school? That's what bothers me, and
it costs us a lot of the bus drivers that were pretty stressed out and upset, and I just.
Well, I agree, it's a waste of family time right now that you guys had to come and address this issue, to tell you the truth.
No, it's worth it to us, because we like what we do, and we like serving, we really do. But it was kind of a scary thing, and you could just feel the negativity, you know, kind of like in one ear, out the next ear. Yeah, you know, I mean, we're all pretty much retiree age already. Most of us could all leave tomorrow and get our retirement, but we do it because we're a team and we like working with each other, we get along fine, and we wanna be we don't wanna just be transportation, we wanna be part of you guys too, but we don't wanna be at odds with you or have you at odds with us.
And that's one thing that everybody remembers of bus drivers, right? I always remember my bus drivers are near and dear to me, and I see them all the time, like my son Reyes, they call him Papa Reyes, sees him at the Walmart, hey Papa Reyes, so you know, I just think that we should be a little more transparent.
Yeah, so, Mr. Ortiz and Roberta here, Roberta's here, we generated a letter today, and we talked yesterday. We had some, discussions about this, and we don't wanna make it difficult on anyone. We ensured too that, sometimes, we know you're allotted so many hours per day, and when you clock in and clock out, sometimes it might not be that many hours. We ensured that you wouldn't be docked any hours.
We also have a lot of in-service,
Right,
you know,
right. Other things that you-
all the different trainings we go
Yeah,
into.
so we will revise, we will, meet tomorrow morning first thing and discuss this and, send out an updated memo on what has been discussed tonight. So I just wanna thank all of you, the transportation department, for all you do. One of the most, if not the most important job in the district, getting our kids to and from school safely. So I appreciate each one of you and hold you in high regard. Thank you for being here tonight, and we will get this fixed. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just wanna apologize, on behalf of the board, for the shortcomings of our staff. At the end of the day, we're the ones that are held accountable, and like Mr. Chuleta says, we get the phone calls and stuff like that, so, again, we truly, we did hear you, we want what's best for our staff, and moving forward, we just need to be a little more, forthcoming. Transparency works a lot, communication with our staff members. If something drastic like this is gonna occur, we just need to be in the future, just be a little more transparent with our staff and have some, like Mr. Archuleta said, some meetings and stuff like that, just so that way there's some buy-in on it. And they have their voice heard as well too, because that's the last thing that we wanna do is silence our staff members and make them feel like they're working in a prison, and that's not what we are here. We wanna make sure that every staff member here is valued, and that they know that they're valued by us and by the district as well. So, again, we thank you guys.
Quick question, who's transportation, and who's the director, who's in charge of transportation?
Right now, Tito is still the director, we have it open. We're accepting applications, so. And Roberta, they're teaming up together to oversee transportations. We will be interviewing, here in the next few days and getting a director very soon, so we have applicants. Tito and Roberta are continuing to work together on overseeing transportation.
So moving on to the board president's report, I'm happy to report, yesterday we had a very, productive meeting, with our internet providers, for the Chimayo community and schools. We're happy to say, that, this morning, we're happy to report this morning, the county actually signed the lease for the internet tower in Chimayo. So, they'll be moving forward with the construction of the tower. What that means for the kids and community members of Chimayo is that there's 173 slots of free internet for our district students, that will come off of that internet tower, for up to 3 years. After the 3 years, they will probably have to carry their own service, but right now it's up to 173 students Chimayo currently has. I believe as of this morning, before a huge surge of late registrations came in, was like 84 students. So all of those students will qualify for service. I was there this morning to kind of break the news to the kids and to the parents, and just asking them to be mindful, if they currently do have internet and they can't afford that, to be mindful that there are less fortunate kids in the district that can utilize that same funding source. So it's not only open to the Chimayo kids, it's open to anybody that lives in a 3-mile district that attends the district. So a 3-mile radius, if you at the high school, you're at the junior high, or you attend any other elementary within the school district, you are able to get the free internet service for up to 3 years. Off of that tower also, it'll benefit the community of Chimayo as well too. Once the first radio gets installed, our kids will have priority service off of that. Then it's gonna turn into a commercial radio, where they'll be able to service the community of Chimayo with high-speed internet as well too. So it's a big win for the district, it's a big win for the community of Chimayo at the same time. This board has been working on this project for quite some time. And the last step was just having the buy-in from the county and allowing them to install a tower there, and it's gonna benefit them as well too with their 911 services out in the rural areas that far out. So that's one of the projects going there too. We encountered a couple of issues today with schools not having power. Some of it was on our end, some of it was on Henry's end. But at the end of the day, we got issues resolved, and it looks like it turned out to be a very busy day. But again, it was a successful day for the district as well too. So we're looking forward to getting this school year going full throttle. So anybody wanna add anything?
Sure. I would like to add a few words, please. The last 2 superintendents, I have asked for something to be done agriculturally in our classroom. And I will give you one, Mr. Morano, and I'll give you one, Mr. Goulet. I attended the county fair over the weekend, and the livestock auction, and the homemade delights auction. And here with me, I got the results of the auction to show you guys, not all kids are gonna come in and be able to get scholarships and all that, they sometimes do not qualify for stuff like that. So they do the hard work, agricultural, raising livestock, farming with their parents, all northern Mexico. So they have the opportunity to get their own education, their own scholarships by raising these animals and putting them in the auction at the county fair. Okay, to give you an idea, the grand champion steer, he brought in $16 a pound for the steer. At 1,300 pound steer, that individual made $19,000 on one animal. Okay. The champion swine, 258 pound animals paid $5,000. Okay. One of the last items everybody was wanting, all the companies that showed up, it was just great to see all the people that showed up and were supporting the kids and all that. A lamb, 149 pound lamb sold for $6,500. That works out to $43 a pound for a lamb. So like I tell you, it's great to see that these kids are out there doing this on an FFA program. Like I've stated before, I've asked the last 2 superintendents to try and do something here for the district, for the kids, to start a program, and nothing is happening. So trying to put some more load on your shoulders, but like I say, the kids have an opportunity to go and work for themselves, for their education, and get their own scholarships by doing this stuff at the fair. So I just wanted to chime in on that, and congratulations to all those kids that did a great job. There's 83 kids that put animals in, the homemade delights and all that. So I'm sure it was a record year, like I said. 4 of the steers sold for $70,000. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Anybody else?
I got a quick question. So this meeting with the internet, were the schools invited or?
No, it was just the board president and Mr. Morano.
I think it would have been nice to put
Chino would have been invited,
Well,
that's her district.
Yeah, the principal was invited as well, and she not the principal.
Because it's her district, so.
It's also my district as well.
Chino?
Yeah. Well, I got Chiquito, so those kids go over there as well, so we both represent you.
I think it's been nice, because it's not quorum, just two people though.
Since I have all the bus drivers, can I just say thank you guys, because we, at least now we can actually see you guys and just thank you guys for all your hard work. We're starting out the school year, right? You guys are here on a bad note, so you guys are here, so I'm gonna say thank you guys for everything you do as a recognition, like, I want to start recognizing our staff, since a lot of our bus drivers are here, thank you guys, and hopefully we have a good school year, thank you for all your hard work, and we do appreciate you guys, honestly. And the bus aides. Bus drivers and bus aides, we all appreciate both of you, all of you guys. Anybody that's on the bus with these kids, because they're difficult, so thank you guys.
Try not to get too many of those orange barrels up there.
Yeah, they decided to pave the road,
Yeah.
the first week of school, I don't know.
And they didn't even notify any
No.
of us of the school, so like they tell you, this is all, here we go again, you guys would have to readjust routes and all that too, so
Thank you guys.
kudos to you guys.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to letter B, superintendent's report, Mr. Morano.
Yeah, just wanted to update everybody, we had a great first day of school. Got to visit 8 of the 12 sites, and we had all of our directors out there, supporting all of our school sites today, it was great to see the kids. Just wanted to update everyone on enrollment today, just so we have an idea. I think every, board meeting, just kind of let everyone know and update them on enrollment. We'll start with San Juan, we had 131, we're expecting 150 or so. Paulding, we had 118, we're expecting in the 120s there. Bernard, a few more possibly. Hernandez, we had 60 students. We're expecting a little bit more, but we have contacted families, and that's probably gonna be right where we're at Hernandez. Abiquiu, we have 56 students today, we're expecting somewhere in the low 70s there. JHR, we had 196, we're expecting in the 220s there. ETS, we had 303, we're expecting about 330 there. TEQ, we had 165, we're expecting about 190 to 200 there. Carlos V. Hill, we had over 300, we're expecting around 350 there. EVHS, Espanola High School, a little over 600, and we're expected to have close to 700. So we know we have some students out today. We're gonna be contacting families, making sure those who are enrolled that are gonna be attending. So, but overall, a great first day. I just wanna thank our team. And I think right now we are fully staffed in the classroom. We have a couple of openings at the middle school, a couple of social studies position and an art position. We have a couple of openings at the high school. All of our elementary schools are fully staffed with classroom teachers, which is extremely important. We have some other positions, that we're still, hiring throughout the district, but, we're happy to say at least all of our elementaries had, certified classroom teachers hired on day one. Just a great first day, and we're excited, as you guys have mentioned, for a great school year. And I agree with you, on the agriculture program, is really trying to get FFA started here in the Espanola Valley Public Schools and Chicken Curry Schools, where I was at last year, very strong FFA program, and I think it's time for Espanola to be a part of that. We also had a great meeting with our work-based learning folks, with future-focused education. I had a meeting yesterday with our high school principal, Ms. Trujillo. We have right now, have agreed to open 10 to 15 slots for our students to do some work-based internships this fall semester, so we're excited about those opportunities. We will continue in the spring to provide those opportunities to 15 different students. Those students who do internships and work-based learning this fall can reapply to do it in the spring as well, so they can overlap. There is a minimum requirement on age of the certain partnerships, so we'll be getting that information out to our students. We do have an internship class at the high school, and in that class, what we'll do with those students is actually teaching resume building skills, interview skills, really some job skills. So we're excited and we want to continue to expand that program. And so I know we had some summer interns this year. We had even a couple working up front here. We had some working in the maintenance department, and they were great. We want to continue to build our own, right? And even working here in the district, we're looking at some things they can do for us and opportunities they could do some internships with us. So we're excited about that program, and I'll be updating everyone on how that goes.
Real quick, Mr. Moreno, were these first day numbers that you gave us?
Yes, these were just bodies that showed up,
Kids showed
so
up.
we have more enrolled, yeah. So, and that's why we gotta, still, I think, some are starting on Monday, so, but we'll be, I talked to our office managers and our principals, they'll be getting, making phone calls to those who haven't shown up, just to make sure they're gonna continue attending, so. But yeah, those are just actual bodies in the classroom. All right.
Go ahead, Ms. Martinez.
Superintendent, have all of our staff signed their letters? Our ancillary staff, have they gotten their letters?
Letters or contracts?
The contracts for.
Contracts are, we're finalizing those. Elizabeth, if you wanna provide an update, please?
So there has been, a slight delay in those because those have to be linked with the correct salaries. And as you know, we did go through an agreement with, the local MEA on the 4.5%. So there's a process that it goes through the business office, and then it has to go through our software programs because everything is linked. So they've been happening like based on positions, and so our ancillary are coming up. But it's a process, they're coming.
So what happened is we sent out contracts initially with only the 4% raise until the CBA was approved in the agreement. So now we have to regenerate contracts and actually retro pay people according to that 4.5. So everybody will get retro paid because of the increase.
Okay, do we know how long it'll take us to get those contracts? I
Yeah.
just don't want our staff to start looking for other jobs and,
everyone-
well, we wanna make sure that.
Yeah, no, good question.
We're gonna be getting to those next week. We've been focusing on making sure that we're getting our new hires in and we're getting them situated, and that's been a priority. And so the next week, we're gonna just finish up and correct any, because we're also getting, calls, you know, well, this isn't right, and so we're gonna focus all on that, next week. So this week, we're kind of just really focusing on trying to get our new hires in. But we're getting to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've got a few questions.
Looks like you got a notebook there.
Yeah, that's right when I was thinking. So, we did not get a weekly superintendent report. Are we doing it bi-weekly now, or is it weekly? Or we did it last Fridays? So, I'm just wanting to know, because, you know, Ben Ray's field supervisor out of called me, are you gonna be there at the school? I didn't know what she was talking about, and it's a little bit embarrassing to me as a board member that I'm not sure he's coming to the school.
Well, they notified us.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
that's an issue that I have.
Okay.
We can start getting that so we can just know what's going on. Also, let me see, now that Mr. Lona spoke, I asked for that agenda item to be posted just so we can look into the lawsuit, just to avoid a lawsuit. And I followed policy, was 84, and it was not ever posted on this board, and there's a reason why. I was never notified via email that it wasn't gonna be put on. So I sent you an email, and I sent Mr. Police an email that I wanted to discuss this situation with the coach and possibly an action item, with me to look into it, and did it well, followed policy, did it well beyond the days that I was supposed to do it, and.
We can have the attorney, send you the response that she sent us.
Yeah, but I didn't get some, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know if there's.
Yeah, we'll forward it to you.
Yeah, your request was actually, we went through with it and stuff like that, but the attorney advised us another view of it, so, but we will have her reach out to you.
Yeah, I already talked, because if I want to be an agenda, I should have the opportunity to look into it and to, you know, it's just, upset me as a board member.
It was honored, but on the advice of our attorney, she advised us otherwise, but we'll let her
Yeah, I
contact
would like her
you.
to call me because it's, it bothers me that it happened. Again, another deal that we brought in was went to a conference or a presentation on the Yazi Martinez, you know. Mr. Montoya was there, it was a 3-hour presentation that was very beneficial. I was a little bit concerned that none of our administrators were there, like you. We were there for about 30 minutes, but it was already over, but I'm just saying, it would have been nice for directors to be there too. And it's a big issue, especially what they did at the beginning, they said Espanola has both Native American and, so what is our plan? Do we have a plan for that? Because they asked me our plan, and I said, what's our plan to help with the Yazi Martinez to follow the rules?
Yeah, we're waiting on guidance from the state as far as, so that, because of the new administration, there's some things that have, and that's why they're having all of these events across the state, so, I talked to the secretary when I was there.
John said, well, he's a graduate of Espanola, he was spearheading that, the larger resident was spearheading that, and I just,
So
Is
they
this
will,
one for Ben Reed, how long was that?
no, because Joe Gibbs sent us an invitation, it was at Northern, it was from 4 to 7. And we had to go to the round table, they said about,
Was it that big then?
No. It was, Ben was here yesterday.
yesterday.
You see him too?
No? Oh, no, I took the luck of us.
I just showed up and to do some stuff here and he was here, so I didn't get no invitation.
Okay, and then another deal I had is, the state mandated assessments came to math grades 3rd to 8th, was released now in July. And the science was released, grades 5, 8, and 11. Do we have those scores, are they gonna share with, can we have the?
yeah, we'll share the data at the next meeting, we'll put it all together with.
Because I know the associate, that's my review, can we have a 3-year trend to see where we're,
Yeah,
if we're going up, we're going down? Also, can we get an assessment of our SAT scores from 11th graders that took last year? That's another thing that I would like to see data, because as we know, student achievement is getting lower and lower every year, which I think that should be the main focus of the district, but yet we're focused on closing schools. You know, parents are coming today again, or they wake up having 4 or 5 calls about closing schools, and I just think that, I understand that, but I think right now our focus should be on student achievement, because it's not, our kids aren't prepared for college, it's not sugarcoated. And I think we should focus all on that, but yet we're focusing on closing schools, we're focusing on other things that I think are important, but aren't as important as student achievement. And as a board member, that bothers me, because we should be focused on the students. And also, if our scores are low, how are we addressing these concerns, and what are we gonna put in place to address, if I could have that at the next meeting for our.
I can share that now, we've been working with our.
And our short-term assessments, you know, like short-term assessments, because,
Address it.
well, you can address it just next week, if you have time, but.
No, but I can.
He has the answer now, is what he's saying.
Okay, so we're working with our curriculum and instruction team, we work closely with, our department and making sure we have priority standards, that hasn't been in place, outlining standards and a clear scope and sequence of what needs to be taught in the classroom. We have a focus this year on all of our teachers posting learning targets and success criteria and ensuring that the lesson is matching what the learning targets are. In years previous, there hasn't been any of that. So when you talk about teaching and learning, it is a huge focus. That's what we talk about every day as far as improving outcomes and improving teaching and learning. And you're exactly right, that should be our #1 priority, and it is. So we've had great meetings with our instructional coaches and making sure that's carried out. So providing teachers with that, and with those scope and sequences and making sure they're teaching the right standards, and also having the appropriate training to make sure that the lessons are aligned. So we've had all those discussions, and Sherry and her team, the instructional coaches and the curriculum department, and I feel like we're also doing, bringing in some intervention programs. When we talk about, low performance, how do we get those kids, up to speed, right? And so we're bringing in some programs, ST Math and some other programs that we're bringing in to really, close that achievement gap. And so we're focusing on, some intervention strategies that will help them, hopefully improve student achievement. We'll analyze all those things to see what works and what doesn't, and make adjustments as necessary.
Also, I think with the teachers, we just passed a science curriculum for this year, and a lot of them, the science teachers didn't have passwords to even get into. they do curb cuts, so I don't need to be
Wait, but that fixes. Yeah, but everyone's got their kids, everything's been delivered as far as I know. And if they don't have the passwords, tell them to contact us, so we should have everything in place.
And I'll make it quick, two more things. I got a phone call just, we heard from an upset daughter that her mom is a elderly bus driver in the district, Miss Osmo, and I guess she made a mistake, or she was supposed to pick up some kids at La Canova, and she forgot. And I guess they called her and she apologized, she fixed it. But then one of the directors here called her and started screaming at her on the bus, on the radio, in front of a bunch of kids. So the mom was kind of upset. I think you could pull the radio, like, all the buses are recorded, right? You can see if it was really that bad, but I think, you don't wanna call her and offer an apology, cause she,
So if you can call me tomorrow, since that's a personal issue,
Yeah.
let me know what it is so I can follow up.
yeah, so okay, I'll call her, cause yes, her mom was upset. And then another, last thing, I'll make it quick, I know announcements, we have the committee meeting at Northern on the 15th and the 10th, but I'm looking here, nothing's been reserved from the district.
I reserved it with Becker Valdez, Northern New Mexico College Auditorium. So
That's
he's-
not here.
What's that?
It's not listed, the number of dates is listed, so
On the Northern?
on the Northern page,
I'll
I'll
check
have
that
a list of all these stuff that's, so I'm not sure if we're gonna do it, because I don't know if I wanna compromise with Northern, because this is a big subject, and I just, we'll get back to it, but we're not, I don't think we're gonna entertain that idea. Because we wanna put Northern in the middle.
So are you speaking for your other board members too, Mr. Archuleta, or?
Yep.
So you have authorization to speak on behalf of your other board members? Your regents?
Well, I talked to the president, it's not scheduled, and we don't know, well, I'm just talking, we're talking, we don't know any more.
Schedule, we
Yeah.
confirmed with them.
It's not as if,
So, the Northern, not for us.
Yeah, not for us, yeah, with Northern, yeah.
I just think it's a, yeah, I don't know, it's, closing school things is, gives me a lot of heartache, and I think we should take a vote, put it on the board and see if we really wanna move forward with this, because I don't, and I don't know if other people do, so.
Okay, is that it? Anybody else?
I had one of our staff members talk to me on Wednesday or Tuesday when we had our welcome meeting, and she was concerned about the deer dance the deer dance is happening, and usually we have the day after off, and because we changed our schedule, it's actually, we're gonna be in school, so it's gonna affect those students that do the deer dance, and she was hoping that maybe we could look at seeing if we can, I know, she did send us an email, there was an email, but if we can at least look at entertaining, like, the importance, because if we're doing it for other things, then we should look at doing it. I mean, we gotta be fair all across the board, I understand we have other holidays,
We'll have to either do.
maybe
I think, Mr. Moreno, Ms. Martinez, I think what we can do is we can make an exception because it's gonna be part of their cultural
Right.
activities. So they could actually be an excused absence for their cultural activities.
And how about our teachers and our staff though? That's the other thing. Because remember, we have teachers and staff that participate in that event also. So are we gonna make an exception for everybody? I'm just trying to think of but if we can look into, I'm not saying that I just want us to look into it because I wanna ensure that we are listening to everybody, sorry. I know, I'm sorry.
Who would have looked
Sorry.
into that as part of the staff, as far
Sorry,
as
guys.
the school council?
So what
So
happens?
is that like in February?
I'm sorry.
Is that like in
Who would
February?
have-
Yeah.
But it's not a.
President's Day.
Yeah, so it was,
So on that day, there's nothing
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
But she's saying, well, it's not on that day, there's nothing happening on that
it's
day.
the date, it's the
The day
date.
before, is it the day before?
The day after, it's the day after. It's like happens on Sunday, and it's a late day, it's a long day for all those people that participate.
That's what I mean.
So usually we have off the day, that Monday,
The
and
rest.
for President's Day, and we switch that holiday.
Right,
So if we can have.
we had to
Pres-
switch the holiday because of the November 4th.
Yeah, but we didn't take a look into other things that happened in our, so maybe it's Veterans Day, maybe we can look at maybe kids going to community school.
Is there a point of contact? Whoever the district that can contact them? Because then whoever that point of contact was, should have probably known that and brought it up to the school.
Well, I mean, it's the day after the dance, right? So, I mean, I don't think.
But I think what I'm insinuating is if there was a collaboration with the Pueblo, they should have known that they would have probably wanted that day off after and brought that to the attention.
Well, but they probably thought, here's the problem is that they probably thought it's President's Day, we were, the kids, everybody's already out, but then we moved that day because of election, so we didn't think about anything else, so I'm all, if we can at least look at other options, like maybe Veterans Day or another day that we can, I don't know.
We'll have to come back and
Yeah, I'm just trying to,
give us another vote.
Mr. President, members of the board, if I may.
yes,
I was sort of fast with this, changing of the calendar. And unfortunately, we did speak with a lot of the Pueblo people.
you did,
Yes, and we spoke with directors here also. And, we thought about, yes, Veterans Day, but we also had a lot of veterans that said, no, that day we can't touch. And so President's Day was, you know, one of the left, it was left open there, so we said, in lieu of the fact that, the calendar was not looked at, inadvertently, November the 4th was a school day, and it's highly recommended by the state that we don't have school that particular day because it's a local school to us. And so we also tried on March 3rd, but it's a city election. So we had to leave that as well. So he left us with February 16th, unfortunately. And that's why we're going to send a draft to you, see if you want to approve it that way. Now we can look into other options.
maybe a survey. Well, like, what's the best way is getting a survey out there and seeing what works best for our staff and our students. Sorry.
No, you're fine, Mr. Martinez. Any more questions?
President, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Bustos.
I just wanted to, I was supposed to bring this up last year at the end of the year, but I forgot for the school year, but I got another couple complaints from a couple of residents from Fairview that they would like to see like a speed limit sign, like a flashing light sign there on the Food King side, because I guess people are driving erratically over there.
On that road.
Yeah, just on that road, just that way I guess they could know that students are present this year, you know.
So Mr. Bustos, just to chime in on that too, during the retreat, we did ask Mr. Morano to reach out to the city of Espanola and also the Rock Christian Academy there, the church, to see if we can have some sort of safety meeting in regards to the traffic and all that's going there, because on Thursdays, if you see, it's ridiculous, you know what I mean? It's from 7 in the morning going all the way down Riverside, it's just crazy.
People don't know, because I went over there to visit today. You don't know that you can go around, so people end up bottlenecked all the way on Riverside, trying to get into school, and, you know, I'm glad we have that service for our community, people can pick up food items. But every Thursday morning, it's causing a backup, so Kristen, if we can make sure and contact the city on a couple of those things, and maybe even get on Thursdays, if they can, I know they're short-staffed, but patrol.
Well, we have the SRO source, we could.
Yeah, maybe we can start doing patrol, and, I know even just seeing on Thursdays, but to Brandon's point, also looking at some speed limit signs, if we can get hold of the city.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Even speed bumps as well.
I know, I'm just thinking of that, can we make sure all of our flashing lights at our schools are working for our bus drivers? Because I know Chima has been working for like 2 years. We've been trying to get it, but that's the state.
Highway department.
Yeah, the highway, but, we've tried contacting them several times, and just to ensure that for our bus drivers and for the kids, they get lights flashing at you, and all our school sites.
Just an observation to the police there. If we talk to the Rock Christian Center, maybe they can utilize their south side of the property to get the traffic back up over there, because what's happening is they're parking on the street. And if you get them out there on the south side of the building, well, that whole big loops around anyways. You know what I mean?
I think they have their kindergarten center or their daycare, I think, in the back or something.
But I don't think it's blocked off there. I think they still have access.
They have access, but I think it's not blocked off, but for the kids' safety, I think they have it, like where the cars parked there. But it's not blocked off.
It's on their property though by then. See what I mean? If they're gonna do that service, it's for them to do it on that side. This other side is kind of like a public issue, because they're parking on the street.
I agree with that too, they could just go around anyway, the kids should be outside.
And that's how come I said during our retreat to engage with the city and the Rock to see how we can come up with safety measures and stuff like that, too, like that. That was one of the schools, the other one was San Juan, and JHR, I believe, were the 3 schools that we wanted to see if we could address. with the Pueblo, the city, and the Rock, church there as well too, so those were brought up, so.
So can we make that happen within the next meeting too? Invite the rock.
I mean, we had that meeting, remember a while back, I don't know if you were involved, Mr. Bustos, like, yeah, we had it at Fairview, right, and then the city came, but nothing transpired out of it. I mean, it was hard getting the city to understand the boundaries and stuff like that. They kept on fighting with us and the state, back and forth, oh, it's the state, no, it's the cities, it's the state, it's the cities, in regards to the traffic going over there to VHS about that, you know, us losing a fence every school year, whatever like that, but nothing ever transpired off of that. It's just, the thing is a lot of people like to come to the table just for a show and then nothing ever transpires, but we need to make sure that we have follow-up and hold people to their word, and it's for the safety of our kids and for, you know, the people that take their kids there and stuff like that, because I do agree the traffic is bad, especially there in San Juan, Pueblo. We just have parents that don't care, and they just stop in the middle of the street there, and they block off the whole road, and people can't even pass. It's a huge, it is, but it's a public safety when that happens, because emergency vehicles can't pass through or anything like that, so. Hold on, Mr. Luna, let Mr. Bustos finish off his questions, and then we'll.
I just wanted to say a comment regarding Mr. Bustos' thing. It will take like 2 seconds, not even
Go
that.
ahead, Mr. Luna, I'll allow it.
So, sorry for being out of order, but Mizal, the police chief, informed me on Monday, this past Monday, that he's gonna have law enforcement patrol cars throughout the whole entire school district, throughout the whole entire school year. From the morning, they're gonna be there for the morning for drop-off, and then they're gonna be there in the afternoon for pickup. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what he said, that his police officers are gonna be patrolling the school zone, or the schools.
The only one that's hold true to that is San Fe County. They're tremendous, because out in Sombrio, they're always there every single morning, and they're there every single evening, patrolling the traffic there like that, so. Those are the only officers that I see around at our schools. Go ahead, Mr. Bustos.
Just get that, maybe bring that to light again and remind the city that, you know, the work's there.
All right? Go ahead, Mr.
I just wanted to make sure our air conditioners, they're up to par with the schools, or it's been hot, so we've had an issue with the water still with the city, problem at Carlos Villa. So today, it was low pressure, which caused some of our ACLs. Overall, I think, had a couple issues at some sites, but overall, it was.
So we just gotta remind our staff members and our public that these air conditioners are still swamp coolers. These new units that we're putting in, they're swamp coolers, so when you get a little bit of, you know, rain and stuff like that, it's not gonna work. You know the way the one in your house works, it's nothing like that. We installed that brand new system in the gymnasium, but yet you pack that gymnasium with, 500, 1,000 people in there, that guy starts getting hot right away, so. But as far as I know, Mr. Salazar, yeah, I think we should be working in the district, so. Okay, moving on to letter C, Deputy Superintendent's report.
Mr. President, members of the board, community members, I think, you do have in your board book probably, it's a synopsis of my board report. And, I'm not sure if you had it or not, but I just wanna mention that I was able to go to 6 schools this morning. The kids were enthused, the parents were enthused, everything was, you know how it is with first day of school. They were wanting to be there and wanting to be educated, and the teachers and all the staff in the schools were very enthused about taking that first day of school, and I was even enthused myself. Just visiting the schools, we did encounter a few minor problems, like JHR doesn't realize that some of the heating or the cooling system has to be turned on the right way, and you mentioned the city, for some reason or another, we were without any power there until almost 10 o'clock this morning. But nevertheless, it started off real well, I think. And in the essence of time, I don't know, I just want to make sure that you did get my report. If you have any questions, I'll entertain him at this time. But we are working very closely with our superintendent, and I know that it's been a learning experience for me as well, so I'll be getting a lot of things. We're still having a little bit of trouble converting some of the drives from Myra, the last deputy superintendent, into my particular department so that we can get everything updated and going. But all in all, you know what, with all the years of experience that I have coming into Espanola, you guys have an excellent program. You have excellent programs throughout the school district, and I think we're going to be making a difference if you help us and we work together as a team. I'm sure that we'll be very successful. So thank you.
Any questions? Yourself?
Welcome again.
Thank you. Oh,
I think
and
you're gonna be a huge asset to the district, so.
Mr. President, so I am reaching out already as far as you know on this one. I think we're gonna be able to have something going real quick, probably by the end of the year at the high school. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to action items. Letter A, discussion and potential action for the housing committee to continue with the next steps. Mr. Marano? No, it was consent agenda. Yeah, it was consent agenda that we took that one up.
We wanna go back to the district reports, we have athletic director,
Okay, yeah, so Mr. Marano, just for future reference, usually typically under the superintendent's report, we just, you know, if anybody has questions in regards to any of the reports that they see on their board book, they'll ask questions, but if Mr. Fujenzi has a presentation or anything that he'd like to discuss with the board or some highlights or anything like that, you're more than welcome to as well, so.
maybe we could meet him,
Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Morano, we've started up, we have all our schedules set up. We have some education opportunities that we've presented for students and coaches. Last week we did have NMAA come in. Last Thursday we had over 300 individuals in the gym for those presentations. They went over role of an athlete, role of coaches, and role of parents. So I was pretty impressed, as was the NMAA representative, Gary Allison, with the turnout. So we were pretty impressed with that. That's just something that's really big, and I know it's probably not, it's kind of a little more homework, but it was before school started, so I assigned 5 courses to student athletes and 5 to all coaches that are coaching in the district. So just in hopes to educate them and kind of get things going on the right track and get them really thinking about sports. It's more than X's and O's. It's building character, and that's what we're here to do, education-based athletics. So I submitted my report. I know we updated the handbook, the athletic handbook a little bit, more just personnel and updating that information. So I think that's about it. I did submit my report. I stand for any questions.
Maybe for the next meeting, you can get us some numbers as to what we have for student athletes that are gonna participate now for the fall sports.
Sure, we're hoping to pick up now that we hit the first day of school, so definitely I'll get you that. Happy to be here. Thank you everybody for welcoming me. Really excited about the opportunity.
I've been a huge advocate to try and get some banners done for local businesses, you know, for the last couple of years, so, you know, because there's a lot of businesses in town that really support our youth, and, you know, just from what I told you about the county fair alone, you know, there was a lot of money floating around over there, and we can get those companies to.
And as a matter of fact, I actually put together a brochure today for advertisement opportunities.
Right.
So that's one thing, and then we have future planning. We're gonna bring back that golf tournament, the fundraiser. That'll be October 4th. So we'll start advertising that. We just secured the golf course over at Buffalo Thunder for that day.
And I know there's a few individuals in the community too that are willing to help out, like if they decide to do a booster club.
Sure.
You know, that kind of went away. Like I say, that'll help you too in the long run.
We welcome as much help as we can get.
Yeah.
We need it, so, yeah, it's for the kids, so.
Yes, sir.
So just to add to Mr. Fujenzi's, JC's report there too as well, the football team right now is currently selling advertisement banners and stuff like that for around the stadium like that, so I think the coaches, I'm not too sure if the kids are, my kid hasn't come home with one yet, but the coaches are putting together something to promote banners for the businesses and stuff like that, so they've already approached me to purchase one. And then also, there was something else that I was gonna add to your the booster thing like that. I know the football team, so you might wanna get with Coach Holbrook like that. I know they were talking about something, a booster, just specifically for the football team and stuff like that, and it was gonna be run by people that didn't have association with, a kid on the team or the football program at all whatsoever. He wanted people from the outside to run into.
So I have a meeting with Coach Holbrook tomorrow to get some fundraising, that fundraising application going and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that's probably what, so sorry for
No,
leaking
you're
all that
good.
stuff
You're
out,
good.
but he was talking to the parents about his plans and stuff like that when he had a meeting, a team meeting and stuff like that, so.
One last thing that I did mention in my board report was, assessment of facilities. We walk facilities, we kind of know that there's some need for improvement in certain areas. Mainly just kind of looking at concession stands in the gym, that's a big priority there because it's pretty limited space to prepare and generate, get out food as fast as, your line as fast as people line up, really. So there in the football field, those are two of the projects we're kind of looking at.
One of the recommendations that I had made to Mr. Morano, because, we're always in need of one at the baseball field too. Some sort of a structure that we can get designed and built that can be even like for restrooms and
So
all
that's one of our ideas, actually putting where that storage is, the new athletic storage, the red roof one, relocating that down by the portables and putting a structure there that's restrooms, concession, and a little bit of
That
storage
way it kind of works in
for all
conjunction
fields,
for
for softball, baseball, football.
and football, right?
So I know Mr. Salazar, a while back in one of our board meetings, we had asked, maintenance to go ahead and do kind of like a survey of if we would actually have enough land to move our baseball fields down to the bottom of the football field, kind of adjacent to the, parking lot where the fans park, right to the tennis courts and stuff like that. So we can kind of centralize everything there with a new bathroom facility and concession stand facility and stuff like that. So I'm not too sure where we're at, with that, Tomas.
Only one field will fit.
Only one will fit?
Only one will fit, and then I think you're gonna engage in future discussions about a new high school, so I think that's our next discussion. I thought at one time, I know we talked about that field next to the tennis court, I thought we talked about. Yeah.
Yes, well, that's the one that, so that's what we're trying to put the
Only
baseball
one field
fields
will
on.
fit, Right. I had it, GPS and laid out, only one fits. Right.
That you mentioned the new high school, do you have the plans for the, they had the preliminary drawings for the new high school?
I was looking for those.
They were gonna build it
Yeah.
where they were gonna currently have school at the old school, and then with the new parking lot set, that was gonna be, a building's gonna be built up.
That's still the plan.
Yeah, but that was, there's some plans.
And Mr. Morano and I have talked about it, and the whole plan is not to touch the gym, because we're gonna have to downsize the school, and we definitely don't wanna downsize the gym, so the plan is not to touch the gym and build the high school on the opposite
With the
side,
parking lot.
and then throw down the old high school
But
and
not
build the
interrupt
parking lot
school.
there.
Exactly.
Yes, and, Leo will be speaking, and I don't know if Leo was prepared, but I think we moved to a 10 mil levy, I hope. And if that's the case, then the funding is, I'll let Leo explain the funding on that.
And, Mr. Westridge, you're gonna hold me from Coca-Cola,
Yes,
providing,
yes.
is it a go?
We're still kind of working on that a little bit. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
jumping on board this week.
Thank you, Jason, appreciate it. Okay, moving on, no questions, action items, letter A, discussion of potential action for the housing committee to continue with next steps, Mr. Maran.
This, with us tonight, we have our, here to discuss, the housing authority. We're very excited about, moving forward with the project to, build housing for staff, for, specifically teachers, and also, housing for, those, students who may be, without a home. So we're, want to move forward with that project, and, we'll turn it over to our representatives here tonight. Cynthia or
Roger's here, where's Roger go?
Board President, Board, can I address you?
Sure.
I just wanted to let you know I'm part of the housing committee as well as Roger, and he had to leave because he had an appointment, but he said that he's working hard behind the scenes, to acquire, support for the teacherage. And so all of last year, we did have our housing committee, and so he is in support of it. I just wanted to let you know that he left.
Ms. Lenteni, we cannot hear you. Can you speak again to see if we can?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Great, thank you so much. So my name is Cynthia Lentini, and I was the Housing Action Team Lead for the Rio Arriba Community Health Council. The team has actually been disbanded. We've moved to a new structure at the Health Council, but we want to continue and support this project. Our team members here with us tonight are Tina Ruiz and Rebecca Sewall, who are responsible for the presentation and most of the research that has gone into the project. So just a little history here is the consideration had been to build workforce housing in the property currently owned by the Espanola Public Schools, the property where you're currently located. And the idea was that this could be self-sustained by charging a percentage of rent for that property for the hires, the staff that you'd be hiring to live there. Additionally, we thought that one of the homes could actually be really beneficial as a resource home for potential students who are suffering from housing insecurity or who just need a place to be, a safe place to be. So the idea has kind of blossomed, and what we've decided to do is, in order to assist Espanola Public Schools with launching this project, is to do as much research as we could and to tap into our health council members and use those folks that can assist us to get as far as possible. And doing that, we were able to kind of develop a plan of what type of housing would work on that property, what it would take to actually construct it, and then actually talk to Senator Jaramillo about funding it. So the preliminary funding is the Housing Action Team did have a small budget in which we could assist with the survey, the initial survey. And then from there, we tapped into Senator Jaramillo, who has promised $100,000 in capital outlay to go further so we can start developing plans. This actually looks like something we can accomplish. And there are so many moving parts here, and I'm just really grateful for the collaboration and teamwork that has come together. And before I turn it over to Tina and Rebecca, I just wanted to mention that the contact will be taking over, the primary contact at the Health Council will be Regina Montoya, who is the community health worker at Bridge to Health, New Mexico. And she did leave her contact information in the chat, but if you need it, I can forward that again. And the superintendent also has her contact information. And now I just want to turn it over to some amazing ladies who put in some real time and effort and are ready to just participate as much as possible to get this project off the ground. Tina Ruiz and Rebecca Sewall.
Thank you, Cynthia. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tina Ruiz, and I'm here with my colleague Rebecca Sewall, and we prepared the document that I believe was handed out to you that provides kind of an overview, a planning document of the potential residential land use for the address 405 Hunter Street. And we just kind of wanted to make ourselves available if there were questions, kind of what the next steps may be if you all continue forward. But I just wanted to also give you a chance to process the information and read the handout. And if there was anything specific that wasn't unclear or needs further explanation.
Well, real quickly, do you guys have an idea of how many buildings we'll be able to set up on the property?
So, yeah, that's a great question. So based on the initial assessment, this is Rebecca speaking. Nice to meet you all. There are, based on our initial estimation from the surveyor, it could be divided up into 22 lots based on the developable part piece of the property. And so because the property is zoned R6, that's 22 lots with a maximum density of a duplex going on each of those lots. So it could either be single family housing or duplexes, would be both compatible designs with the existing zoning.
Rebecca, you want to explain how
I know there's been some concerns about the flood zone in this area, and why, in looking at the design, the garages would be, on the bottom level, and then, if you wanna explain that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, based on the research that we did on the property and the most current FEMA mapping, which is kind of put together by a combination of topographical data tools, LiDAR, GPS, and hydraulic modeling, and that's used to inform FEMA data, which informs the base flood depth, which basically means the depth of a flood in a 100-year flood event. So that's called a 100-year flood. It's a 1 in 100 chance per annual calendar year that there could potentially be a flooding event. Now, it's currently in an AE designated flood zone, which are common for riverine flooding or river influenced flooding. And there are ways to work around building in flood zones that are becoming more practiced, just kind of based on density of housing, especially in mountain areas, and those strategies are changing based on FEMA guidelines. So how we are navigating this and how a lot of communities are navigating infill housing in flood zones is elevating homes above the base flood elevation. So if the estimated USGS base flood elevation is about 5 feet for a majority of this property, that means that the habitable space, or any kind of space that people would be, watching TV, enjoying time with their families, sleeping, anything like that, would have to be above 5 feet. So there's a couple ways to accomplish this, and that can be with fill, which is kind of a horizontal, that's kind of like an initial construction strategy, but would require a different strategy and just kind of a different development strategy. But what's commonly practiced in riverine flooding communities and coastal flooding communities is putting the garage to meet those base flood elevation requirements. So if you make the footprint of the garage the footprint of the home and put all of your habitable space above the garage, it increases the, it makes it safer for people to live, and it makes it insurable and compliant with FEMA floodplain regulations.
I think one of the ideas that maybe you might want to look here into, Mr. Morano, I know they talked about at least 22 lots. That could get pretty expensive in the long run. Maybe doing like a 2-phase operation type deal, or maybe do like 11 units with the option to do a second phase later on down the road. If they can do some sort of a design or something like that, it would probably be a good idea too. At least to get the ball rolling on,
Quick question. So are all of these gonna have a lower garage?
Yeah, Rebecca, all these houses?
Yeah, so each one would have the first story garage, and just depending on and this kind of gets into architecture and design territory, but oftentimes it's used as a two-car garage and storage. So it's, if there is a catastrophic flooding event, the risk is loss of property, not the loss of human life, which is the general disposition of FEMA that is okay. Oftentimes that's the way it's navigated, is putting a garage. So it would be required for all of the homes falling within the 5-foot base flood elevation.
See, I get the flood zone deal, but around here sometimes, we might have, elderly teachers that help out and, might need help at home, and they have to climb up these stairs, because obviously we're not gonna be putting elevators in this. And then also, a lot of our students, if they would need a home, some of these students are raised by grandparents, and if these grandparents need a roof over their head, I see that as a problem. I would like to probably see maybe some of these houses at least kind of being ADA compliant, but that's just my take on it.
Well, I think it would have to be a given, Mr. Bustos, that at least 1 or 2 of these probably would have to be ADA compliant to comply with the ADA Act.
That's just where I wanna touch up on.
And I think that would come in the architect phase of the whole project, like, that would come up during the architect phase.
So Rebecca, can you kind of go over the next steps tonight? We're hoping to at least start having the board act on moving forward with surveying and with the planning commission
Yeah.
as well, and kind of give us kind of an outline as board president Felice just mentioned, you know, and what would the next phase be as far as meeting with architects and design and how the board is involved as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next steps would be to contact a surveyor. So any kind of development, the way to get it off the ground is to come up with a plan with the surveyor. So we and the housing action team had actually identified a surveyor who had given us a quote and a timeline. Now granted, that was a couple months ago. And his initial quote was $9,700 with a retainer of $4,800 to do the initial survey, and that included laying out the 22 lots, the subdivision plan, and yeah, completing that survey for the 22 lots. And that would also include the elevation certificate, which is required for developing within a flood zone.
Okay, anybody have any questions, any more questions?
Just one more.
Sure.
Possibly make one, if this does come to light, maybe one of the units, livable for law enforcement as well.
That would be good, yeah, because it's just like before having them at the schools, you know.
Okay, so at this time, I am gonna motion, for the housing committee to continue with whatever next steps are needed to continue this project. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Salazar, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Thank you, Cynthia, thank you, Rebecca, and I believe there's another lady on there, I'm not too sure. Tina? Thank you, ladies, appreciate your time. And look forward to this happening, hopefully we can see it in our time.
Thank you so much. We look forward to working with you.
Okay, moving on to, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a recommendation from Mr. Morano for letters B through letter F on the approval of minutes for a special board meeting for July 7th, special board meeting July 8th, regular board meeting July 17th, special board meeting on July 28th, and special board meeting for July 30th. Mr. Morano, your recommendation.
Recommendation for approval of all of those minutes.
You heard the recommendation, all motion, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Salazar, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Letter D, approval or disapproval of Ortiz and Zamora, legal services in the amount of $100,000. Mr. Morano, your recommendation.
Recommend approval.
You heard the recommendation, all motion, do I have a second?
Discussion, real quick, Mr. Cody. Did they give us an RFP on this?
Yes, the RFPs were done last year for both, legal services on Mr. Zamora and then also for special ed services with Ms. Gallegos Walsh.
It's not a texture or.
This is just a continuation of the RFP.
Because on letter J, you guys have an RFP requirement there. On that one. It states on that one, 60,000 and above, it requires a bid, an RFP, that's why I say.
So on the RFP, Mr. Salazar, it was a continuation to review the contract fee for a total of up to 2 or 3 years. Is that correct, Ms. Pam? 4? Or up to 4 years?
But every year we have to resubmit to get approval to make the PO.
And then we'll have a little bit of a concern on it, because I know that there's a million complaints on them too, like here with this. I don't know where we stand with that yet.
Oh, there's been a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I don't know of any complaints about it. They haven't,
There was an email that went out to all of us, that that Gino had submitted
Oh,
to
yes.
all of us, yeah.
that, well, if we keep on going back and forth, changing our attorneys,
Well, we're not changing them, I think.
I'm just like, this is so stressful because we spending
I'm
money.
kind of saying maybe what we gotta do is table it until we hear back from the inquiry. That way we do have,
But but then we're.
Legal status with,
We still did it, we're without legal services, and Elena's contract is only specific to
You guys made it specific
special
to
ed,
special.
special ed services.
well, we can,
You guys are the ones that wanted
We'd
that
have to
way.
send it out for another, we'd have to send it out for another RFP. So,
could modify it.
and to the fact that the complaint originated, we cannot discuss that because it originated in executive session.
But
So,
he forwarded an email to us, Mr. Police, so it's really public information anyway, that's what I'm saying.
well, what he said, but not the full extent of.
Right.
Well, and actually not, because at the top of the heading, it was client, attorney confidential privilege, is what it, so once it's titled like that, it is not public information. So, there has been a motion and a second, Ms. Polanco, the roll please.
Board Member Martinez?
Yes.
Board Member Bustos?
Yes.
Board Secretary Salazar?
No.
Board Vice President Archuleta?
No.
Board President Codiz?
Yes. Motion passes, let the record reflect that Mr. Salazar and Mr. Archuleta were in the name. Okay, moving on, approval or disapproval of the year-round mechanical in the amount of $175,647.93. Mr. Morano, your recommendation.
Recommendation approval?
You're the recommendation, do I have a motion? All motion, Ms. Salazar with the second, all in favor, signify by sorry, Ms. Martinez.
Oh my gosh.
You jinxed us. Okay.
I'm getting my last name is adjusted, Riley.
Okay, Ms. Martinez with the second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Letter I, approval or disapproval of, I think that's a typo, BY? It should be SY, right? SY, school year 24-25 mandatory listing certification. Mr. Morano, your recommendation.
Recommend approval?
You heard the recommendation, do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Salazar, do I have a second? Second by Ms. Martinez, all in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Letter J, approval or disapproval of ESET renewal in the amount of $95,400. Mr. Morano, your recommendation.
Yeah, recommend approval?
You heard the recommendation, all motion, do I have a second?
Yes, I was thinking, look at the on that one too, it's a renewal and it's over $60,000. It said there it's required an RFP.
So, Ms. Polanco, what's the renewal scope on?
That would have to be Audra on for that
Audra?
one. I just knew Ortiz and Zamora. Sorry.
This is
And it's state
technology,
So-
cybersecurity.
So most of these high contracts that we're doing on a yearly basis, Mr. Salazar, have a clause within the RFP that we have the option to renew the RFP on a yearly basis up to a certain amount of whatever is listed in the RFP. So, these have already been, RFPs have already been pre-approved by the board, it just has to go up every single year to redo the PO.
It's a CES contract, the ESET is under a CES contract, so it does not require 3 bids or an RFP.
Did you hear that, Mr. Russo? Are we fine moving on? Okay, so there was a motion, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Bustos. Ms. Polanco, the roll please.
Board Member Martinez?
Yes.
Board Member Bustos?
Yeah.
Board Secretary Salazar?
Yes.
Board Vice President Archuleta?
Yes.
Board President Codiz?
Yes, motion passes. Moving on to letter K, approval or disapproval of the board authorizing resolution and delegation of authority. Mr. Morano.
So after, recommend approval.
You recommend approval? You heard the recommendation, do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Bustos, I'll second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Letter L, approval or disapproval of amended school year, 2025-2026 school calendar.
Do we wanna wait
Yeah, can we-
until, do we wanna bring this back to the next?
Mr. President, members of the board, if you want me to conduct a survey, I'm not sure if that's going to prolong,
Right now, right now, the only thing we have to do with the calendar is find another date, which, because November 4th is, for whatever reason, when the calendar was approved, back,
Yeah, before it was inadvertently left out and so.
So if worst case scenario, we could minus, winter's day or something, comes back a day earlier,
We'll send out that survey, so right now, we can bring this back, we just need to notify families ahead of time, we have time, it's August.
Yeah.
So if we do it at the next meeting after we send out a survey, then we'll readjust, the day that we need to fill in.
It's just that it might be a little too late since they're asking about school calendars.
With the state?
Yeah, and then the state has to have the allocation as well, so.
Audra, do we know, that's a good point, let me make, Audra, what do we have to turn in, to the state regarding our calendar? Have we talked,
Yes, we
talked
have,
to the state?
yes, we have to submit a revised version. They'll make us re-enter it and they'll review it again.
Are we restricted by any time constraints if we send a revised version
Yeah.
at the end of August instead of now?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either, right? It's not gonna affect our funding, because what we've submitted hasn't even been, we caught the error.
Right.
The state didn't,
They
the state
ac-
approved our.
They
our
accepted the
calendar,
first
which is-
version of it,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
so. We did call, the budget office and they said that they will, allow us to resubmit a new revised version.
Okay.
remote learning day.
We tried that, I think we.
Yeah, we tried that and then.
They didn't attempt that.
So.
Okay, so are we gonna motion, are you gonna motion to table or?
Yeah, I'll motion to table
Okay.
the count,
Second.
until we get that survey
Yeah.
completed.
There's been a motion to table and a second by Mr. Archuleta. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, just as long as we can get that survey out as soon as possible, that way we can get this all squared away and do that, yeah, and then just so we can have some, kind of media or some, let the staff know that, you know, this is gonna be going out and to the parents and stuff like that. So just start promoting it, because I know a lot of the principals today were, making the parents aware that there's gonna be the change and we're gonna have off on February, whatever it was, President's Day, and we're switching to the cast, so we gotta make sure that we correct that immediately. Moving on to letter M, approval or disapproval of an MOU between EPS and the city of Espanola. Mr. Morano, your recommendation?
Recommend approval.
You heard the recommendation, do I have a motion?
Discussion.
Go ahead.
So this is to have a resource officer at the school, right?
Yes, sir.
Why wasn't it just done like before school started?
Because I've been trying to reach the city to get through the MOU, it's the same one that you approved last year. To get the city to see if they're still gonna do it, and they abide by the MOU by having the SRO training properly as the 40-hour mandatory training and so on.
Do they have somebody?
They have an officer, but I don't know about the training. I requested, his certification and his training records. But I figured I would take it on my own and get it approved by you guys first, hopefully. And then I would kick it over to the city and say, now it sits in their lap. That's why we're on the delay. It's not because it was last minute. This is something I've been trying to work on since the beginning of July, trying to get this ready.
So currently, we don't have an officer.
So there is an officer, we're just not paying for him.
Okay.
He was on site today, we're just not paying his salary because we don't have the MOU signed, so.
Just keep them there.
Well, if you remember, that was done a couple of years ago when after the tasing, this was when, Chief Jimenez was the chief of police. He had an officer assigned that they paid for, and he was just specific to the schools and license patrol, but we had no control over that. At least with the SRO, we have some control. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, motion by Mr. Bustos, do I have a second? Second by Ms. Martinez, all in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Letter N, approval or disapproval of an MOU between EPS and Rackstock.
Recommend approval.
You heard the recommendation, I'll move, do I have a second? Second by Ms. Martinez. Ms. Polanco, roll please.
Board Member Martinez?
Yes.
Board Member Bustos?
Stay.
Board Secretary Salazar?
Yes.
Board Vice President Archuleta?
Yes.
Board President Codies?
Yes, motion passes. Let the record reflect that Mr. Bustos has abstained from the vote. Moving on, letter O, approval or disapproval of an MOU between EPS and OK Winga Head Start.
Recommend approval.
You heard the recommendation, I'll move, do I have a second? Second by Ms. Martinez, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda, letter B through letter D, bar number 003-D, through bar number 007-IB. Mr. Morano, your recommendation.
I recommend approval for bars.
You heard the recommendation, I'll move, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Salazar, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Moving on to announcements, letter A, regular board meeting, August 21st, 2025, 6 p.m. at the APS Educational Services Center. Letter B and C, okay, September 15th and November 10th, community meeting, venue may change, but let's just be real specific on this, okay? This is just a community meeting for educational purposes only, to inform the community of the data that was compiled through the process that we initiated. This is, a lot of people, board members are saying we're closing schools. That's not the fact. We want to educate the community, to show them where we're coming from, to let them know the difficulties that we're encountering by keeping these schools running. And then, again, like I say, we're open to ideas, we're open to communication with the public, whether it happens at Northern or whether it doesn't. These two community meetings are gonna happen for educational purposes only. They are not gonna have no action item on them to close the specific schools that are gonna be mentioned in these data reports. All it is just meetings and community forums to educate these communities of the possible effects of continuing to fund these sites. So,
And I think during public forum, the gentleman, it was Mr. Video, mentioned about the historic sites and possibly other funding. You know, Audra, looking at it financially, sustaining it operationally is where we're struggling. Whether, and it's all our small schools, it's every small school that we have to continue to sustain it operationally. You know, the facilities are one thing, we get, you know, we get PSFA funding for rebuilding schools or remodeling. That's, you know, we can do that and afford that. That's fine, but continue operationally, which means paying staff, paying exports, paying resources. If we don't make some of these hard decisions, and I had a conversation with a parent, and I'll be, you know, transparent from Dixon. So, you know, she's concerned, of course, right? And I said, so what's the solution? We'll cut back. We're gonna have to start making some real cuts in order to continue to sustain operationally. And she said, why don't you cut athletics and extracurricular activities? So those are the things that I'm hearing. So can you imagine cutting our extracurricular and athletics, some of the things that bring our kids to school?
and that's what I was,
If we don't make some of these hard decisions, I'm telling you, and Audra knows this, and financially, we cannot continue to sustain this. We are gonna have to make some real hard decisions. Yes, we can continue to have these these schools, all of these schools open, but next year, when we come to budget, we are gonna have to cut some things if we keep them sustained. And I'm just having that out there, but I'm hearing from people, yeah, let's keep them open and then cut back on programs that our students get to enjoy. And I think we don't have enough. We talk about it all the time, having enough opportunities for our students. By making some of these decisions and reallocating our resources, then our opportunities can even expand. So those are just some things that we are gonna have to decide as a board. And I'm saying this because it's being neglected too long, and it's affecting our budget, and it's affecting us financially, and I don't know.
and I know Mr. Archuleta's been a huge advocate for athletics, and his statements before have said that athletics is what keeps our kids in school. So to kind of take away those programs and stuff like that would be kind of drastic, but something does need to happen. And like I say, with the community input and brainstorming all together, working as one, we can come to consensus as to what exactly will occur with these schools.
Quick question, I wanna clarify, about, I'm not speaking as a board, more, region and one, because I'm not sworn in, I'm a board member right now, because I, you know, got in the board member. A discussion that I have with people that they wanna stay away from the drama. They're not scheduled. I made a phone call, said they on the schedule, they all know, they're not on the schedule. So that I know that's
I
on
have
the
a meeting
schedule.
with Mr.
And
Morris.
speaking to people who really believe that the school should go to those individual communities and speak to them directly, that's their stance on it. I understand, I did get a phone call, the lady asking, well, come from central office, you're making a lot of money up there. You know, so there's two-way street, but let's be honest, these meetings are happening to close schools down, it's not to inform the parent, it's informing that we're gonna close it. You know, cause I think what's gonna happen, and then we just said, no, we wanna close schools, so. Yeah, that's what people are telling me, that's what people are saying, and we need to figure out what we're gonna do, cause I'm tired of getting phone calls, I'm tired of Facebook, I mean, it's not fair, we just need to figure out what we're gonna do.
Well, that's why we.
And if we're gonna close schools, well, I think we should vote as a board to say, hey, let's move forward or not move forward.
Well, the plan, if you guys recall,
Yeah.
to your point, we all talked about it at the last meeting, right, when our people from Velarde were in here. What did we say? We wanted to open it up to the community. We said, we wanna have these community meetings, and that's what we're doing. We're having community meetings to present the data. We're not saying we're making a decision. We wanna present the data. We wanna be real about, and I'm saying it again, the financial situation that we're in. So yeah, we can look at cutting things and cutting people and affecting people's lives and saying, how can we operate as a district? Every person in this district, from transportation to nutrition to our Sherry Rodriguez, Federal Programs Director, we cannot function as a district without these people. So yeah, we can cut back on people, and then what do we, you know, we're gonna lose other people because now we're asking other people to do 15 and 20 things, and so you can't continue to operate and sustain this financially without cutting something.
And either we were
And
affecting
we're gonna
lives.
have to make serious decisions. Right now, I'm concerned. You heard the numbers. Velarde is at 45, Dixon's at 49, Hernandez is at 60. The enrollment is dropping, so what is that gonna do to our funding next year when we turn in our 40-day and 80-day count?
So we're going a little off course here, but I'm just gonna say one more comment to Mr. Archuleta's wanting a vote to move forward. It would be a disservice to our staff, our students, and the community members not to share this data with them on a professional level. It would take a board vote to actually close these schools. It's not gonna hurt us disseminating this information and sharing it in a public forum to let them know what the district is faced with. And at the end of the day, like you said, it takes a board vote to close a school. There's not gonna be an action item on there. It takes people like you to advocate to the people out there to say, hey, this is just to inform you the data, to show you guys the financials of the schools, what's actually happening within the schools, because the people that are coming forward and are upset that we're closing schools or whatever, I would say about 95% of them don't even know the finances of the district. They don't know what the district has to go through to keep these schools up and running. But this is just gonna be an informative discussion with them, and a transparent discussion, letting them know that the difficulties that the district faces each and every year to keep these schools running. And I don't think that we need to vote to share that information with them. At the end of the day, if it comes as an action item or whatever, each board member has that responsibility or that authority to say no or yes at the end of the day. But I don't think we need a vote to end this discussion. I think we just need to be out there and let the people know what's happening. So with that, I'm gonna take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion by Mr. Archuleta, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Salazar, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion passes, the time is 7:48, meeting adjourned.
Why do you guys want to have a community meeting outside of the community? Like Brandon has community meetings as a commissioner at the location where he's having a community meeting. I think that'd be fair to have it like at Velarde Elementary in the gym, have a community meeting at the school, have a community meeting at Dixon, and have a community meeting at Hernandez. You don't need an auditorium or you don't need any of that.
I think, Mr. Lona, to kind of I'm not fully to answer your question, I think it's more of a convenience to the individuals that are gonna be providing the data. That's like when we accommodated everybody with 2 meetings, so that way we're not having to have these individuals come up to these locations, all those locations that were actually on the data report. So we thought that it would be actually easier just to have 2 big meetings where the community can come in and we can listen to everybody all at once, so that way it's not gonna be a repetitive thing at each school. So, I mean, it wasn't done maliciously or anything like that, it was just done to kind of accommodate everybody and have 2 meetings, so that way it's just not a repetitive meeting at each school.
What about the community members that can't make it?
So that's how come we had 2 meetings, that's why we put 2 meetings, so that way if a community member couldn't make it, we had that additional meeting on there. Now, if it's something where they wanna meet one-on-one with our superintendent and get the data with them and stuff like that, we can do it. What we're gonna do also as well too, and I've also spoke to Mr. Morano about this, is that these sessions are gonna be recorded, so that way they could be accessible on our website, so that way if they can see exactly what was discussed and we're transparent with everybody, that way these meetings can be, uploaded later on by somebody, and if they have questions in regards to anything that transpired in those meetings, they're openly can ask us or our superintendent as well.
I think it's better to do it in the hometown. That's my opinion as a